Good morning, gentlemen. Today we have with us Mr. Alistair Williamson and Thiruvengadam Rajagopal from Lycra Company. Thanks first of all for taking time out and talk to us. To start with, what emerging trends do you see foreshaping the textile landscape? And how is Lycra positioning itself to influence those trends?
Okay. I'll take the first question. So, probably more than a trend, it's here to stay. But sustainability is one of the big things that everybody's talking about. When I visited customers maybe 10 years ago, I would say, what are the key, let's say, the top 10 sustainable issues that you see? And they probably struggle to find one or two. But now when we visit customers, the first thing they say is, what do you have with a sustainable story?
Correct.
So, when you call it a trend, I think it's more here to stay. Sustainability is certainly very, very important. I don't know if you know, but our sustainability platform is called Planet Agenda. We started in 2008, so we've been working on this for a long time. And it's very much aligned with the European Green Deal, where we're trying to work towards a carbon neutral position by 2050. So we'll talk a little later on some of the other questions.
Sure.
A lot of things to do with sustainability. So that's one big trend.
Right.
I think another trend is the market price has always been very important. There's a lot of competition, so how can people differentiate themselves? And I think there is a trend towards people looking for reliable partnerships and not opportunistic ones.
Right.
So working with somebody who you know will deliver you on time and full, sort of stability of quality product and so on. So I think having partnerships in the value chain is something that I see as very important.
So, how do you foresee the market trajectories with reference to EMEA and South Asia? And what strategies are in place to capture the opportunities in these regions?
Okay. So, probably there are two ways of looking at it. One is the upstream, which is the mill side of it, and then there's the consumer, the downstream part. So, if I start with the upstream part, then Europe is a very mature market. There's very little new investment going on. Certainly in Western Europe, there's investment. But there are no new players in Europe. If I look at South Asia, India and Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, there are a lot of new players, so it's much more dynamic, so it's very exciting. So for us, the European market is a mature market, which is consolidated, where we're trying to defend our positions and work with the mills that we know. Whereas in South Asia, it's much more dynamic, so there it's all about developing new relationships and new customers. If I look at the downstream part, then obviously India domestic market, and Tim can say more about this, is very important for us. I'll let you say something now, but in the European market, then I think consumers have, for a long time, they have so many options that the spend now is probably less on clothing than on going out to restaurants and experiences. So in order to stand out in the European market, we need to have something different. We need to have something that people can relate to. We like to think that the Lycra logo, Lycra brand is a guarantee for people when they purchase things. It's a guarantee for us. So that's a very quick difference.
Right, you wanted to speak on the domestic market, yes.
Yeah, so in India, domestic market is growing. You can say it is moving from unorganized to organized categories, and the speed of growth is very very big. And last 7 to 8 years, you can see they are getting into cross-functional segments. Like earlier, they were into more ethnic side. Now they are into more fashion, more functional. They're talking comfort, and they're giving solution to the consumer needs. So the technical competency of the brands are growing every day, and there is a big opportunity for us to spend time and working with those brands, and the valuation related to those Indian domestic market is becoming very important.
Right.
We are also working on additional resources in India to capture those opportunities, and this is the process going on.
Right. As Alistair very well said, disruptions these days is becoming the norm kind of. So, what strategies are being placed so as to make sure the supply chains are more agile and adaptable across regions because you are catering to a big market. You know, you have EMEA on one hand and you have the South Asia and then that. So can you, if you can share your strategies?
Right, yes. So perhaps the Lycra business model is quite unique. So we have we're an ingredient brand. We produce products that go into other people's products that help them do things they couldn't otherwise do. So it could be, so if you put Lycra into a garment, from a physical standpoint, it could be it gives a better stretch and recovery. From a chemical standpoint, it could be that it has resistance to chlorine or to ultraviolet light or so on. And then from an emotional aspect, our products make the consumers feel that they're wearing a product that fits better and they feel better. And so we have this quite a unique business model. Because we have a brand that is known by consumers, we can talk to everybody in the chain. So we're right at the top of the chain because we produce a fibre. Our customers are mills, then they go to the garment makers, then they go to the brands and the consumer. And because our brand is known, it allows us to talk to everybody along the chain. And we can bring some value to everybody, we can bring a story to everybody on the chain that another business model wouldn't be able to do. So that's one of the things that we try to work and to push really hard. And that helps us then if we're talking to a mill in India, for example, who would like to sell into the US or into Europe, we can then help connect them to the right garment maker, brand or retailer to help them move their products through. So for me, that's one of the key aspects of the
Yeah, from my side, we are seeing India again. The local presence is very important, and we have a bigger team in India, and we have a warehouse facility to cater the needs of the demands what is coming from the market, and again the service what we are thinking is most important. The lead time is another crucial part here. We are seeing how to come down on the lead time to meet the expectations of the value chain.
Right. Right. You know, as the demand for the eco-friendly textile continues to grow, how is Lycra leveraging innovation and create products that balance performance and sustainability?
Okay. So our product vision is to have three parts. There's the raw material part, which is to try and use as fewer finite resources as possible. Second part, and I'll talk a bit more about that.
Right.
The second part then is to produce fibres that are durable, that maintain their promises for performance and fit. And then the third part is at the end of life, garments at the end of life. What can we do to help prevent garments going to landfill, the raw materials being used? So I'll talk about the first bit. You've probably heard about our project for bio-derived So today, spandex and Lycra is made from raw materials that come from oil. So there are two main products in Lycra. So a product called PTNEG, which is about 70%, and there's MDI, which is about 30%. Both of those come from oil. We have a project with a company called Core, based in the US, and they're going to provide the PTNEG, the 70% part from corn rather than from oil. So it's a chemical, it's the same product, but we can produce it from corn, which is a renewable source. So to me, this is one of the most exciting projects I've worked on in the company. We're launching it at the end of this year.
Okay.
It'll be commercial next year, and with a commercial scale. It's not a laboratory project. It's one that we're going to do at scale, and eventually we'll probably have 30% of our production we can make from corn rather than oil. Now that's important for us, but it's also important for our customers because everyone's trying to reduce the carbon footprint. So our customers who will use this product will be able to reduce their carbon footprint from their supply by about 40-45%. It's huge. It's really important. So that's one of the things that we're working on. Every innovation that we have has a sustainable story around it. So there's either allow our customers to make fabrics using less water or using less heat. It allows garments to last longer, so it can endure, retain the fit, so you don't end up in landfill. And then the final part of the project that we have, which has still got somewhere to go, we're very encouraged by what's been done, is about recycling at the end of life. So taking back the likeness in the garments and chemically recycling it and being able to recycle. So these are some of the things that we're working on in terms of sustainability. We're very excited about that so far. And obviously here in India, it will be a product that is available from early next year, right?
Yeah, so we are working for so apart from Lycra, we are also having a specialty polyester range, so which talks about the performance and functionality of the product, like moisture management and insulation properties. So we have all those products are also coming up in the recycled version, like the post-consumer and pre-consumer products. And in India, we are going for a moisture management product, we call it a full max brand, and for a cross-functional segment, again, not only specific to denim or a particular segment, denim, ready to wear, intimate apparel, socks, everything we are planning, coming up with a product which is suitable for Indian value chain. So like dope dyed versions or the air covered with dope dyed, and so we have multiple product offerings on that category suitable for the garment areas.
How is Lycra collaborating with the brands to redefine comfort and fit standards for the modern consumers in the diverse markets? India is your market, EMEA is another market, Southeast Asia is market. So if you can touch upon that aspect.
To start, I will take it up.
Okay. Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
So how you're collaborating with the brands? Yeah.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier we have this very unique business model with so we work very closely with those who buy our product from us, but we also work with their customers, the brands, to tell stories. In order to differentiate yourself, you need to have a story that a consumer can relate to. So sometimes they're very simple stories. But it's important that we can explain to them why, because it's an ingredient, and maybe it's 2% or 5% in the garment, how is that making a difference? How is that making? So we help our brands and retailers who are our partners in the chain to tell a story to consumers that will resonate with them.
So I can add on that. The selling story is one thing, what Alistair explained, and another thing, we understand the needs of the consumer. So and we work with the brands or retailers. So on a concept level. So what is the concept that requires to meet your consumer requirement? So accordingly, we will work with the upstream side of the value chain, make a garment by collaborating with the mill in the region. So bring a suitable product that what brand looks for to meet their consumer expectation or to satisfy them on their needs. So that is one way we are meeting the brands as well as the consumer requirements, and thereby we are also making some the basic claims. We're putting a Lycra logo on a garment, so give the brand promise. Best for the quality, best for this functional performance. So all those things also we are coming up with a collaboration with the brands to sell their products in the consumer market.
Okay. I'd like to add as well. So Lycra was invented 5 years ago, and innovation has always been a key part of our way of working. When we innovate, we have ideas, but what we tend to do is we tend to work from the consumer. We try and identify where there's a gap, is what you were saying. So we will do consumer surveys for swimwear, or for denim, or for intimate apparel, and try and find out where there is a gap between what consumers would like and what's available. So once we've identified where that gap is, we say, okay, we talk to the technical team, what can you do to develop a product that will fit that gap? I can give you an example that we had in Europe, which was for ladies' hosiery. So ladies' hosiery is not a big market in India, but one of the big problems is if you make a hole, the garment lathers, so it goes all the way up. So that was a gap in the market. So we said to our technical team, what can we do to prevent this happening? So they worked on the product, we made a bi-component product, and we put a bit of basically adhesive in the product. So when you process the garment, the heat melts the two fibers together. So now if you have a hole, it doesn't run because the stitches are held together. So that's an example of how we identified an opportunity in the market that the consumers were looking for and wasn't being met and solved in their technology. Each time we do a new development, we do the same thing, whether it's for making denim more comfortable or putting compression on a certain part of the garment to give them support. These are the sort of developments that we work on with the technical response to the consumer.
Right. I understand today you also have a product launch. So if you would like to talk about what kind of products you are going to launch at their USP, so as to speak.
So we are going to launch today for exclusively for India market the toolmat product, which can bring moisture management and for the garment. It's a durable. It's not like a chemical finish. It is there for a few washes. It is there for the entire life cycle of the garment. And this we are not one. We are going to do for denim segment, bottom. Trousers, bottom weights, and circular net, big wear, all the categories, shirtings, which is the thanks, Alistair. This is one of the major segment we are focusing upon because the potential for the product is there, but we are not really pitching into the right value chain. So with this new launch, hopefully we will help to meet the market requirement on this kind of product categories.
Great. It's really been a pleasure talking to you guys. A lot of information has come out.
Yeah.
And wish you all the best with your new product. Thank you so much. Thanks again for your time, Alistair.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thanks, Mr. Rajagopal. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for